What does a solid red traffic light mean? Stop before the intersection or crosswalk. You must remain stopped until the light turns green. Red, paused and ready. What is the recommended following distance in ideal driving conditions? A minimum of 3 seconds. Count 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000 behind the car ahead. 3 seconds, onward. When should you use your vehicle's low beam headlights? When driving in fog, rain, or at night within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle. High beams can blind others. Low beams improve your vision in poor conditions. Be seen. Keep those beams low. What does a yellow diamond-shaped sign typically indicate? A warning of upcoming road conditions or hazards. It's your heads up to slow down or prepare to maneuver. Diamond warning. Move along. What does a flashing yellow traffic light mean? Proceed with caution. No full stop is required, but watch for cross traffic and pedestrians. Yellow flash. Eyes up. Who has the right-of-way at an intersection without traffic controls? The vehicle to your right. Yield if someone approaches from your right before you go. Right first. Keep rolling. What does a red octagonal sign mean? Stop. You must come to a complete halt before proceeding. Octagon equals stop next. When are you required to yield to pedestrians? Always, especially in crosswalks. Pedestrians have the right-of-way, no exceptions. Pedestrians first, onward. What do white rectangular signs with black letters typically indicate? Regulatory information or rules. They tell you speed limits, lane use, and other must-follow laws. Regulations posted. Let's go. What is the typical speed limit in a residential area unless otherwise posted? 25 miles per hour. Slow speeds protect people and property in neighborhoods. Residential pace. Next. What does a solid yellow line on your side of the center line mean? No passing is allowed. Stay in your lane until the line becomes broken. Solid means stop passing. Onward. What should you do if you hear a siren or see flashing lights from an emergency vehicle? Pull over to the right and stop. Clear the lane so they can pass safely. Emergency clear. Next. What does a red and white triangular sign mean? Yield. Slow down or stop to let others go first when necessary. Yield granted. Moving on. When must you stop for a school bus with flashing red lights and an extended stop arm? You must stop, regardless of your direction, unless there's a physical barrier. Kids boarding and exiting need a safe zone. Bus stop. Next. What do broken yellow lines separating 2 lanes of traffic indicate? Passing is permitted in either direction when safe. Check ahead and overtake only if clear. Pass if clear. Keep going. What is the importance of wearing a seatbelt? Significantly reduces risk of injury or death. Belts hold you in place and spread crash forces. Click it. Belt buckled. What do solid white lines separating lanes of traffic moving in the same direction indicate? Discourage lane changes. Stay in your lane unless it's unavoidable to move. Stay put. Next. What should you do if you feel drowsy while driving? Pull over safely and rest. Fatigue impairs you as much as alcohol. Rest time. Onward. What is the typical penalty for a first DUI DWI conviction? License suspension, fines, and possible jail time. The law punishes impaired driving severely. Drive sober. Keep rolling. What does a circular yellow and black sign indicate? Railroad crossing ahead. Slow, look both ways, and be prepared to stop. Tracks ahead. Next. How can you check your blind spots before changing lanes? Turn your head and look over your shoulder. Mirrors don't catch everything. Head checks do. Spot check. Onward. What is the implied consent law? You agree to chemical testing if suspected of DUI. Refusing a test can carry the same penalties as a failed test. Consent implied. Next. What does a solid white line on the right edge of the roadway mean? Marks the edge of the road pavement. It keeps you from drifting off the road. Edge defined. Moving on. What should you do if you get lost or are unsure of your directions? Pull over safely to check a map or GPS. Never stop in traffic to reorient yourself. Route found. Next. What is the purpose of flashing your vehicle's hazard lights? To warn others of a stopped vehicle or hazard. They signal trouble or a traffic obstruction. Hazards on, let's go. What is the correct hand position on the steering wheel for most driving situations? 9 and 3 o'clock or 8 and 4 o'clock positions. This maximizes control and safety. Hands set, onward. What is the importance of adjusting your seat and mirrors before driving? To ensure proper visibility and control. Comfortable reach and clear sight lines are key. Setup done. Next. What does a no passing zone sign indicate? Where passing is unsafe and illegal. Obey it to avoid head-on collisions. No pass. Keep going. What should you do if involved in an accident with property damage? Exchange information and report the accident as required by law. Failure to report can bring fines or more serious charges. Accident handled onward. What is the minimum distance you should signal before turning or changing lanes? At least 100 feet. Signal early to give others time to react. Signal set, next. What should you do if an animal runs into the road in front of your vehicle? Brake firmly if safe, and try to swerve only if it won't cause a collision. Protect life, but don't gamble with your safety. Animal avoided, moving on. What does a school zone sign indicate? Be alert for children and obey speed limits. Slow speeds and extra caution are required. School slow. Next. What should you do if your vehicle breaks down on the highway? Move safely off the road, turn on hazards, and use warning devices. Keep yourself and your car visible. Break down safe, onward. What does a red circle with a slash through it mean? The action shown is prohibited. If you see the slash, don't do it. Rule clear. Next. What does a sign with a bicycle image indicate? A bicycle lane or crossing ahead. Watch for cyclists. Share the road. Cyclist seen, moving on. What is the best way to avoid fatigue on long trips? Get enough rest, take breaks, and stop if drowsy. Frequent stops restore alertness. Breaks taken. Onward. What is the purpose of a white stop line painted across a lane at an intersection? To show where to stop before entering the intersection. Stop before the line, not after. Line stopped. Next. What should you do if involved in an accident with injuries? Secure the scene, check for injuries, and notify law enforcement emergency services. Help survivors and get professionals on site. Injuries managed, onward. What does a solid yellow line on the left edge of the road mean? Marks the edge of the road on a divided highway or one-way street. Stay to the right of this line. Edge set, next. What should you do if approaching a railroad crossing with flashing red lights or lowered gates? Stop completely and do not cross until clear. Never go around lowered gates. Track safe, onward. What is the move over law? Requires drivers to move over or slow down for stopped emergency service vehicles. Keep them safe, shift a lane, or slow. Moved over next. What should you do if your vehicle starts to overheat? Pull over safely and turn off the engine to let it cool. Restart only when the temperature drops. Engine cool, onward. What does a do not enter sign mean? Entry is prohibited into that street or ramp. Turn around, do not proceed. Access blocked, next. What should you do when approaching a work zone or construction area? Reduce speed, watch for workers, and obey all signs. Construction crews rely on your caution. Work zone, move on. What does a minimum speed limit sign indicate? The lowest speed allowed in ideal conditions. Driving slower can impede traffic and be unsafe. Speed met next. What is the purpose of maintaining a safe following distance? To have enough time and space to react to sudden stops. Buffer zones prevent rear-enders. Distance kept onward. What should you do if approaching a red traffic light that is about to turn green? Be prepared to go, but wait for a solid green light and clear intersection. Don't jump early, stay legal. Green ready, next. What is the legal parking distance from a fire hydrant in most areas? At least 15 feet. Leave space for firefighters to connect hoses. Hydrant clear, onward. What is aggressive driving? Committing a series of traffic offenses that endanger others. Tailgating, speeding, and erratic lane changes count. Drive calm, next. What should you do if you must stop on the shoulder of a highway? Turn on hazard lights, lift the hood, and use warning triangles if at night. Make your vehicle visible to passing drivers. Shoulder safe, onward. What does a sharp curve sign indicate? A very sharp turn in the road ahead. Slow down significantly before entry. Curve sharp, next. What should you do if another driver yields to you when they weren't required to? Accept the courtesy and proceed with caution. Thank the driver with a wave if safe. Courtesy safe, onward. What does a no parking sign mean? Parking is prohibited at all times. You may stop briefly to load or unload only if allowed. No park, done. What does a yield sign indicate? You must slow down or stop and give way to traffic. Only proceed when it's clear. Yield done. End of list.